Man, peace and blessings to everybody. Y'all know who it is. I know it's been a long time, but I just been laying back collecting information. Before we go any further, I want to say shout out to all my niggas. And if you don't know what Negus is, that's N-E-G-U-S. That is supreme ruler of Ethiopia. And of course, at one point in time, all of Africa was labeled Ethiopia, whichever one you want to call it. Let me get some lights on, just so y'all know this ain't like no planned video. I got something on my mind, man. I just want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about positivity and the power of the tongue and the power of knowing, because belief has no vibration in this construct. So knowing, we can't believe. Believe means you don't really know. You know when somebody be like, did you cut the oven off? And you say, I believe so. That's because you don't know. And that's a whole completely different vibration. It's probably furthest from knowing. Believing. I know it sounds like it's close. I believe so. I'm halfway there. No, you're not halfway there. You're probably 1 at a time halfway away, going in the opposite direction. But I want to just talk about how a lot of times we get caught up in our religion or whatever it is, whatever spiritual construct you have, and, getting caught up in the philosophy, reading the words and, and for y'all who know me, y'all know I like to use the analogy of a car, So it's like going to school to learn how to fix cars. And you got all this philosophical things like, they tell you, if you keep the oil flowing, then your car would run well. It's like, what does that mean? Keep the oil flowing. Maybe they mean I should change my oil a lot, right? So even still, what if they say, hey, man, you should change your oil a lot, but you went to school to learn this? You know what I mean? Are we coming here to say, are we coming here just to tell us that we need to change oil? If I'm in school, you're supposed to teach me. You're supposed to get up under that car, jack that car up. Shout out to my good brother, Raekwon the Magi, for getting up under that car and showing the brothers how to change them brakes, because that was the best analogy that I ever had as far as spirituality goes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you sit here and tell me all day long that my car oil need to be changed for my car to run well. But you ain't never showed me how to change. I don't even know where the oil go. How do I put the oil in? Where does the oil go? Do you know? Do you know? You know where the oil goes? So I want to definitely touch on that, and how sometimes there's certain religions or whoever the leader of the spiritual construct or the religion may not really actually empower you. What it does is, the reason why we love religion so much is that, let me cut these lights on. You know how your mama come home? Why are these lights on? We'll cut these lights on. Thunderstorm. Anyway. I just want to talk about how, they inform us about certain things, but they don't really give us actual things that we can do in our everyday life that would change our lives, right? So, you say the power of positive thinking. And that's kind of what I want to touch on too. I have a little PS too. But the power of positive thinking. Now, positive thinking is not something that you can learn how to do overnight if you were not born doing it. Depending on what your situation was, depending on how your parents teach you. Positive thinking is hard work. Especially if you are used to expecting the worst. Matter of fact, that's a phrase. They say prepare, always expect the worst, right? Or expect the best and prepare for the worst, right? I guess that makes more sense. But in preparation for the worst, are you believing? Are you pulling that, that word believe, are you pulling that vibration towards yourself, right? So I give you the best example for all the servers out there. What's up? If you're waiting tables, what's up? Now, a lot of times as servers, we get on the floor and we say, man, I ain't gonna make no money today, man. Look at it, man. I ain't gonna make no money today. So you just use your own vocal cords, which I'm gonna give y'all a brief little background. If you've ever seen what the throat looks like from the top, it looks the same thing like your eye, and looks exactly like a yoni, the same shape as your mouth. This is called the viscous piscis. It is the first, I guess, combined shape in sacred geometry. You take two circles and, you overlap them. That's the viscous piscis, right? And that's the shape of your eye. That's the little part in the middle where the two circles meet, right? Now, obviously, let's do a little reverse scientific process. So let's look at these shapes, right? So we look at the yoni from the beautiful goddesses out there. you look at the yoni. What does the yoni do? The yoni brings forth life. It's a gateway to life. It's how we all got here, unless, you know, your mama had a C-section or whatever. So you might not have come out that opening per se, but you definitely went into that opening unless you were built in the lab. And that's a whole nother story. Then also too, your mouth. Your words have power. The tongue is power. There's power in the tongue. And then your eye. Your eye is what you use to actually perceive this physical realm, which is probably, as far as the physicality goes, the most powerful way to receive information. Uh-oh, hold on. Let me clean off my lens a little bit. Ooh. Can you see me clearly now? Well, hello. So let's talk about the power of positivity and thinking positively, right? So first off, we have to know that thoughts are actually physical things. Thoughts are things. Thoughts can be measured. Thoughts have a physical spark of electricity every time you have a thought. So thoughts are physical. They're, you know, now they may be a physical representation of another realm, which is definitely what I believe. And I feel like the mouth and the throat chakra is actually used to pull these thoughts from other dimensions to give them more density in this density and third density, or this dimension, as a lot of people like to say. Let me give a shout out to my divine father real quick. Peace and blessings, Father Heimdall, or as they say, Heimdall. Peace and blessings, blowing that horn. Got his beer up there. Don't ever disrespect that beer. You know what I'm saying? We in the Norse pantheon. We like our brew. But anyway, you use your mouth to bring the thoughts from other dimensions. Now, a lot of times, it's hard to control our thoughts, right? And that's a whole nother thing as well. It takes practice. You're not going to wake up and be able to do this overnight. But if you do this a little bit every day, every time that something negative is about to happen, if you switch out that negative thought for a positive thought, then what's going to happen is eventually look at your brain and your neural pathways in your brain, kind of like the front yard. Y'all ever seen Friday, the movie Friday, where the guy said, "Stop walking through my yard, Stanley. Stop walking through my yard." You know, people get mad when you walk through their yard because eventually you can look at the ground and see the path that people are taking because the grass no longer grows there. There's a path. It makes it actually psychologically easier for you to travel that path. Or let's say water. If you let water drip in a certain place, it's going to eventually wear down that path, and the water is actually going to flow down that path. So this is how our neural pathways work, positive and negative. So what we have to do is you have to realize that in society, with it being modeled as a pyramid with the more powerful and smarter or whoever at the top, and more successful people and the less successful people at the bottom, that's not because the people at the bottom are less smart or work less hard. It is because their thoughts are in control. So let's look at it, right? So in the bottom of the pyramid, it's natural to say, oh, this is hell. This planet is hell. I hear people say that all the time. People say, you know, this planet is actually physical hell and blah, blah, blah. I've talked about that before, but you got some people who are living there, living my best life, baby. You know what I'm saying? Some people feel like this is heaven on earth for them. And why is that? How can we be on the same planet? Some of those people are walking past you every day. Some of y'all's auras are crossing with these same people. You feel like it's hell, but they feel like it's heaven. So why is that? That's because they have trained their neural pathways to be positive. So when you're at the bottom of the pyramid, as we like to call it, first thing you have to notice is that you were taught this from birth to be negative. So most of your neural pathways are probably going to be prone towards negativity. It's okay. We all do that. I was doing that probably up until like a couple months ago. So, and not even realizing it. And you can notice that your emotions change as well because all your minds, you have 4 minds in your body. All your minds work together to manifest. So if your physical brain mind is thinking in a certain way so long that your heart starts to give out that emotion, this is how you get what you got. This is how you get the results of negativity. So what we have to do is we have to powerfully wash our minds with positive thought. And when I say powerfully wash our minds, I mean we have to sit around while we want to play the game, while we want to watch Power, while we want to watch Orange is the New Black. We have to think positive thoughts and project positive emotion. Even if there's no specific subject for that emotion. You know, you might not say, oh, you know, I really love my grandma. You know, you might not have to say that. You may have to just have that feeling in your heart of pushing out that love. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to bring more of that type of love. Do you see what we're saying? So let's say you get a new job and you know you're about to make a whole lot more money. You're going to have a feeling in your chest of gratefulness, which is gratefulness is the cornerstone and the foundation of all greatness and the seed of success. So if you're grateful, if you're always projecting gratefulness, you know, I had a couple people tell me this, and also some audios that me and my bros listen to. They tell you that most wealthy people are extremely grateful, and they give thanks, and they give things away. You know, we look at like charity as a way for rich people to escape tax, but think about that. These people are actually giving away what they have. And as my mama used to tell me back in the day when I used to clean my closet out, when I was 10, 11, 12, she used to tell me, Michael, well, you can't get no new clothes if you got these old clothes. So you got to make room. You got to make room. Shout out to Sri Master Gano Grills. He was in my dream last night. First one I had. And on this path, I've had a lot of positive things happen to me in the last couple of weeks that I know for a fact is a direct result of what I'm saying. The dream itself was me actually cleaning out a house. And I remember it was like a really small pile of trash in the middle of the floor. And Sri Master Gano Grills, he walks into my dream and he looks around, he inspects the house, and he's like, good job, good job, good job. You know, we have a couple words, and then he physically runs away. Because he's busy. He's a busy guy, even in the dream world. He physically runs away. So I took that dream as my subconscious letting me know that, hey, you've been cleaning the house. You know, I've been getting rid of a lot of the negative habits that I have. A lot of, if you ever take anger management, which I'm not ashamed, I had to take anger management before. They call it self-talk. Self-talk is when your wife or your boyfriend or your homeboy goes to the next room and you say to yourself without saying out loud, I think I'm finna, I don't know who you talking to. And most of the time when we get caught up in self-talk, we start imagining situations that aren't even real. So this is negativity. It's snowballing. It's snowballing. That's what it does. Negativity is just like water or anything that flows. It's essentially all the tributaries turn into a stream. The stream turns into rivers, and the rivers all feed out into the ocean, which of course is the source of all the water. So we have to start thinking, we have to catch ourselves, you know, especially in the service industry when we say, oh man, it's slow. I ain't gonna make no money today. Well, you just said you're not gonna make no money today, so why should you? No? Now, I had my manager walk up to me and show me a picture of his girlfriend got a $1,000 tip. I'm not exaggerating. The check was about 300 and some change. And the guy gave her $1,000. Now, if you work in the service industry and you work in a regular restaurant, nothing upscale, nothing too expensive, you know, $1,000 could be a week's worth of money. For some people, it's 2 weeks worth of money, depending on where you work in your schedule. So essentially, that place could have been dead all day long. Could have had no customers there. No customers at all. Nobody coming in, no guests. I'm sorry, no, not customers, they're guests. And essentially, could have been dead the whole shift. Nobody coming in. I'm sure people left with $25 that day. Not her. She left with $1,000. It only takes that one person. And you have to understand that the beings who created this world and created your soul and your spirit have that kind of power to provide that to you. And they want to, but they cannot connect with your negativity because, or else may that negativity get upon them. And if you read the 48 laws of power, they tell you this, you know, infection. Infection is one of the laws. You know, stay away from people with bad luck, you know. And it's not really bad luck as much as just really negative thinking. So you stay away from those people because if you don't, you'll start to think like them. Or their negative vibes will get into your aura and you may start to feel those same feelings and emotions. So really this week, guys, all I really want to focus on is just be positive. Be positive, man. Be positive. Be positive like it's crazy, like you don't even understand, bro. Like you don't even see the future, but you know it's going to be good. Even though you see this wall of water coming at you, you're like, I'm straight. I don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to be straight, but I'm straight. I know I'm straight. All of a sudden, a helicopter come and lift you up out the water or whatever the case might be. So before I leave, I definitely want to say that. Now, my PS is something completely different. But I want to talk to the men out here, the men in the streets. And I'm talking to all y'all. I'm talking to the older guys, the younger guys, all the gangbangers. I want to talk to y'all. So why do you think we out here just shooting each other? Why do you think we're just out here killing each other, huh? Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. A lot of us are not descendants of slaves. A lot of us are real Native Americans. You see these high cheekbones? Now, if you can see my eyes, you will see that they are actually, I'm at the age where they're about to start to change color. Most Aboriginals have gray, brown, blue eyes. You'll start to notice that like back in the day, especially in Atlanta, as we like to say, the old folk. You know, we sit up on the old folk and listen to them talking. Their eyes will have this blue ring around it, a gray ring. My eyes are starting to do that right now because I am an Aboriginal. You know, you see these high cheekbones. You can see these dreads. You know, a lot of people get scared when they see dreads. Not necessarily scared of me, but a lot of people have a negative connotation that goes along with having dreadlocks or locks or whatever you want to call it. I don't really get offended by whatever you call my hair because it's my antennas and you're not going to be able to affect me by changing the name of what I call it. But a lot of us are vicious and not negative, but just vicious, meaning that if you mess with our children, you mess with our property, our home, we will defend it at all costs. And we may even go through some extreme measures. So a lot of us are actually caught up in generational wars that we have with other tribes, right? Where we're repeating wars that we had, that we should have never had in the first place. But of course, we had division based on other people coming in and making people feel like they're better than other people. And as you can look around the planet, you'll see that it is actually the root of most of tribal conflicts is that some outside entity came in, went over there and said, hey, man, you know, bro, them better than y'all. Here's some better stuff because y'all better than them. And then they leave. And when they leave, the other tribe be like, oh, so y'all think y'all better? So if you look at it, that is actually kind of the root, the spiritual root of why we out here shooting each other, man. It is stupid. I'm going to tell y'all, it's stupid. Now, I'm not going to lie. You caught me any time of the week in church, back when I was still going to church. I used to have that guy on me in church, in Kroger, in Walmart, pistol, 45, baby Desert Eagle, one in the pipe, everywhere, right? I had one of my business partners say, hey, man, why you carry that gun everywhere you go? You're such a nice guy. I don't think you really need it. And I say, man, you know, they say the good die young. You know, that's what we always say. But, you know, that's also BS too as well. The good don't always die young. But I wanted to say that I had to learn that for one, as a man, I don't need this pistol. All I got to do is look you in the eye. I can see the truth. And you can look me in my eyes and see the truth. Now, also, too, if you're conducting yourself in a certain way, you don't need no gun because you're going to get love and respect. You know what I'm saying? And even the people who are in position to do something to you will more than likely want to come to your aid because of your character. See, that's what we're missing out here in the streets as men. We're missing character. We're missing the whole, yes, ma'am, you need help with your groceries? Miss Johnson, can I help you? You want me to go to the store for you, Miss Johnson? Hey, man, y'all chill out, Miss Johnson talking. See, we don't got that no more. All we got is, look at my feet, bro. Yeah, bro, you see what that got on, man? Hey, I'm gonna catch y'all, you know what I mean? And that's cool. You want to represent your hood and your neighborhood. But we know why the gang started. We started to protect our neighborhoods. So I won't want to go too deep into that, but I just want to try to see if we can get back to that, to protecting our neighborhoods and the old folks and listening and watching after the babies, bruh. Who gonna watch the babies, bruh? If we out here popping each other like this, like Big Gip said, who gonna teach the babies? Huh? You're an OG out here, huh? Huh? They know your name out here, huh? You running these streets, huh? Well, do something for the babies then, bruh. You're an OG out here in the streets. Do something for the babies, man. What if they didn't keep you safe when you was a baby? Maybe you done had trauma as a baby. A lot of times that happens. And we say, man, wasn't nobody there for me. But do something for the babies, bro. It's lame, bro. We teaching the babies the wrong thing. And then you want to get old. I done heard the OGs. I done heard them talk. Hey, man, these little young dogs, these little young N-words out here, bro. You heard me and all that. Nah, bro. They out here like that because of you. They watched you. And they ain't even get but part of the story. So now they out here doing it and they don't know why they doing it. They just know they supposed to be doing it. We got to do better, bro. We got to do better. 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 Now, I just got home, y'all. I had to get it off my chest. And I promise y'all, I make sure it won't be this such a long time till the next time I see y'all. But if you're listening, thank you for rocking. Gangsta Guru 444. You already know what it is. And I'm